Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, live from Dusseldorf, where a little sunbeam is peeking through the clouds and might even grow in size before the day is through. So, I hope all of you are having a fine time. I hope none of you have been discouraged to be kind. It can happen. I've got a little story to tell. The other day, I spoke of some bad customer service which I witnessed, where a woman was overcharged for her banana. It was mistakenly rung up as an organic banana. However, she had selected a normal banana. Turns out there's a 3-cent difference. And she was a bit publicly shamed by the cashier, which I thought was not okay. Because for me, if you make a mistake, you own it. And even if it's a little tiny mistake, you own it. And you say, sorry, let me fix that for you. Let me take care of that. My apologies. But instead, this woman tried to place the blame on her for it being too petty of a scenario. 3 cents. Oh, here's your 3 cents. Blah, 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 blah. Anywho, turns out I encountered another 3-cent story. I was at the bakery yesterday. My son, being the charming little man he is, ordered up a Zimtschnecki, which would be a cinnamon bun, and a donut for us to split to have a little bit of a Papa-son kind of after-school snack together. Anywho, it was darling, and the woman behind the counter was entranced and enamored by this young man. So it was a bit of a magic moment. She gave him one of those mini croissants for free, and there was a lot of smiling going on. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, the man beside me must have been growing impatient, because who has time for such a delightful encounter when they have to rush on over to the post office or whatever it is that beckons you? Anywho, he began grumbling loudly enough that I thought he was trying to get my attention. It was like, so I kind of turned and looked, and lo and behold, 3 cents were lying on the ground, right by. Boy, oh boy, the internet here is just absolutely wonderful, isn't it? How it drops out on you. Anywho, so his grumbles, sadly, were misinterpreted. No, let me back that up. I got a little off track with the Wi-Fi situation here. Wi-Fi, why cry over Wi-Fi? I'll tell you why. Because it's 2020, and it's Dusseldorf, and you're meant to have the best engineering in the planet and so sufficient and so on and so forth. Why is the internet, honestly, the slowest in the world? I've never been to a city where the internet is as weak as it is here in Dusseldorf. What's the deal with that? Because I know you all are sitting behind your laptops all day long because it's like a ghost town here. You can walk down a populated city street with tower blocks of apartments and not hear a peep. So I know these people are jamming out on their computers, but high speed, nowhere to be found. Anywho, back to the point. So the man beside me in line, he starts grumbling. And I thought, okay, well, what do you need? I looked around and I saw 3 cents lying on the ground, right by my feet. I thought, okay, sorry, I must have mistook your grumbles for impatience, but really you're just tipping me off to the fact that I dropped my change. So I scooped it up, and then he looked at me and said, no, that's my 3 cents. I thought, okay, here you go. Now, that may inspire you to be a bit reclusive, a bit less interested in being kind. I know I've fallen down that well before. But I'm here to say, you know what? In that moment when I looked, I thought, this dude is like a cocktail wiener. I don't know why that popped in my head, but I thought of him as being a cocktail wiener. You know those little hot dogs that are wrapped up in bread? They're ridiculous. And so was this dude. Totally ridiculous. And I don't, care for cocktail wieners. It's the kind of thing that I see in the supermarket, just kind of, okay. It's not interesting to me. And I thought, you know what? Same with this dude. This dude is a cocktail wiener. Such a big cocktail wiener. And I wanted to kind of throw that out to y'all because I know you're encountering some shady customer service and some individuals who may not want to uphold the great human spirit, but instead may just be miserable. Wi-Fi, why try, why cry? Anywho, so there was enough love to go around in that moment. I know there was enough. I felt it. And this dude did not soak it up, didn't take a spoonful of sugar, just decided to stay in his little miserable boots and grumble over his 3 cents. So twice in a week, I encountered 3-cent grumbles. And, you know, my 3 cents, my 2 cents, my thought on it is, don't let it bring you down. Because you know what? Honestly, it's just a bunch of cocktail wieners. And you know, if you're at the party and you got these hors d'oeuvres, these appetizers everywhere, and you don't like kebabs or cocktail wieners or shrimp cocktail sauce, then just ignore it. And look out for those cheesy crackers or whatever it is that floats your boat, peels your banana. Because life's too short. Quite honestly, life is super short. And life within the scale of all of the universe is so microscopic that the moment you encounter a grumbler bumbler, you gotta try to remind yourself that it's not even a tear in a bucket. It's not even a grain of sand in a bottle. It's not even a particle or an atom, or it's nothing. It's like it's gone. And if you take it with you, it's like poison. It's like poison in the well. Don't need it. So this cocktail wiener from the bakery, I let him have his 3 cents. Go knock yourself out. You know, if it was 1978, you'd buy yourself a Bazooka Joe gum, maybe a comic book back in 1942. I don't know, but whatever it is you decide to do with those 3 cents, use it well. Use it wisely. It's very important to you. I understand. I shan't interfere. And yeah, he went on with his grumbling way. And I went on with my lovely encounter, sharing a Zimschnecki and a Berliner donut with my boy. That's life. It's filled with cocktail wieners. It's filled with cocktail sauce. You know, you can't... You want to keep Wi-Fiing? Why crying? No. But know that you got to keep your head up. Because deep down inside, you can remember when you were a kid and you were completely delighted by just about anything. The wonders of the world, the curiosities, the imagination, the fantasy. That's still there. Hang on to that. Cocktail wieners are just kind of like pawns in the game. They're not making major moves. And if you get knocked out by a pawn, you got to train. You got to train harder, you know, and treat yourself like you ought to be treated. Like a curious, imaginative, creative force in the universe, stitched together with everybody else. And there's some cocktail wieners up in there. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. So enjoy your day and hopefully get a couple sunbeams your way. Take it easy. And if you're at that party, take it cheesy. Crunch. Peace. Ouch.